Coming on the reverse for Beerles. He is into the secondary, and he is dragged down by Holt, but he picks up a first down as he gets to the 44-yard line. So Beerles, coming from the left slot position, gets the first down, and Randolph continues to march.
Beerles comes around the corner here on this trap, and he just gets good footing and turns upfield. Let's take a look. Here it is. The right guard pulling and kicking out Mitchell, and the fullback leading up inside, and Beerles finds some running room and takes it upfield for a great gain. Randolph is on the march, moving into Summit territory.
Less than a minute to play in the first quarter. Sandler maintains his balance and gets back to the line of scrimmage. Guida got a piece of him, altered his movement forward, but Sandler kept his footing and turned the loss into, as it turns out, a minor gain.
Andrew Guida went on a suicide mission. He saw everybody running his way. Watch him just come flying through and take a shot. Knocks him off balance, and that knocking Sandler off his balance allowed the pursuit to catch up with him. And a great job by Andy Guida. We've seen him all season do these kinds of things. He plays that outside linebacker position. When he sees the student body coming at him with all the blockers and the sweep, he just flies in there and knocks down everything he can. Did a great job defensively that time.
An official timeout has been taken. One of these Summit players is tying up his sneaker, or maybe it's a cleat. It's about half and half for Summit. Many of the players had sneakers on. About half of them also had their cleats on.
Second down for Randolph.
Second down.
Second and 10. Again from the 44.
About 9.5. Short pickup by Sandler on that previous play. Figarelli, the man in motion. They come back to Beerles on the reverse, and Beerles slips and falls, but I believe he has picked up the first down.
What a great job by Randolph's interior lineman coming out here and trapping, not only trapping Mitchell, but then leading up through the hole with a backside full block. There's John Bauer, the revered coach here at Randolph Rams field.
Time has expired here in the first quarter. We may get a measurement beforehand just so that they can spot the ball. At any rate, the first 12 minutes has come to an end. We are scoreless. We'll take a break. We'll come back right after this.
Passing it. Yardage is a 20-yard difference. Randolph is on the move.
Randolph with that one turnover, the interception by Fioli, but Summit unable to do anything with it. Beerles was just short of the first down on the play to end the first quarter, but Sandler, no doubt about it, gets the first down, and he gets to the 33-yard line. So Randolph successful at moving this ball. They have come up with the big play when they have needed it. That pass over the middle for 20 yards to Crociata, very big. They come to Figarelli, and he is met at the line of scrimmage by Guida, who stands him up, and then he's driven back by Nichols and Formicella.
Boy, Formicella saw a chance to get a good pop in there when they stood him up. There you see Randolph trying this misdirection now. They're getting a little more. Here it is. Here's the stand-up, and we just don't see him come back in there. But a couple of those Summit linemen said, "Oh, we got a little duck on the fence."
Pickup of 3. Second down and 7. Call it the 30-yard line as Figarelli comes in motion once again. They go to Beerles, big hole, and Beerles may have picked up the first down. Again, Guida making the tackle. Beerles comes up limping a little bit, but he's not going to come off unless he absolutely has to.
We're doing it on misdirection and counter plays, and with the footing the way it is, your linemen take one step in the other direction, and the ball comes back the other way. Here it is. You'll see everything goes to the left. It comes back to the right. The trap play by number 50, Steve Sutherland, has the block, and they open up that inside lane.
First down for the Rams. underway in the second quarter. And the Rams with a time-consuming drive. 3 receivers to the near side. They pitch it to Sandler, and Sandler is taken out of bounds by Nichols.
Nichols in on the tackle.
Three-yard pickup for Sandler.
2nd and 7.
2nd and 7 from the 19-yard line.
There's John Bauer without the cigar. He threw the cigar away earlier.
He does not send the plays in from the sideline. One of the assistants does that task. They have an interesting alignment in doing that as Sandler gets the call. There'll be about 8 players lined up in horseshoe fashion around the assistant. Bauer will call the play, but the assistant will send it in. You can see Bauer talking to one of his assistants who's partially obscured at this point. And then the players form this horseshoe around him, and he'll send the play in to Nardolillo. It's not as critical now because Nardolillo is only about 10, 15 yards away. However, it is more pronounced when the angle is... Another official's timeout taken. Robert Mitchell adjusting his helmet now, snapping it up nice and tight for Summit. 10-14 to play. First half, no score.
This is a beautiful facility out here in the Morris Mountains. Nice field and some other beautiful fields on the other side from where we are. Excellent complex.
Big crowd on hand for this Group 3 state championship game. Figarelli loses the ball, but I think there might be a late hit called on Summit. The ball came free after the play was whistled dead. And we get a personal foul, and it is against Summit. So we are seeing out here mistakes that the Hilltoppers do not make normally, but in this championship game, they are showing some signs of not being disciplined.
Well, I don't agree with this call at all, Matt. I think it's a poor call, and I want to say that the ball came loose, and the Summit player actually jumped over the Randolph kid that was on the ground. He didn't try to hurt him. He was going for the loose ball, and that penalty should not have been called. I mean, you can warn a player in a situation like that. Anytime the ball comes loose, those kids are going for the ball.
Ball at the 8-yard line, 1st and goal from the 8. Bureau is inside the 5. Well, he's got good acceleration. When he sees that hole, he's gone like a shot.
Well, they're kicking out that end over there. They're blocking out on Mitchell and turning it up inside. And he, as you said, man, let's see how he accelerates right here. Here's the block. Bang. He sees that hole and just cuts it up inside, and the linebackers and defensive backs have to make the stop. Randolph banging on the door of that end zone for Summit. Summit's going to have to stiffen up here. They're going to be down by 6 or 7.
Ball at the 3-yard line. Figarelli is in. Mike Figarelli rushes for his 5th touchdown of the year, and Randolph has taken a 6-0 lead.
Great job running that play into the end zone. Mike Figarelli, they ran the same play to the opposite side. Backside guard kicking out the end. Here you see it. Bang, there's the block. He looks for that end zone, keeps his feet driving, gets in for 6. Randolph lines up in the shotgun, going for 2.
Nardolillo throwing wide open is Wagner, but he slipped and fell as the ball was delivered. Tried to lunge for it, could only get his fingertips on it, but he was wide open.
Boy, Randolph really finds an open area. They continue to spread out that Summit defense, and then they loop one of the inside receivers into a vacated area. That time, instead of circling him over the middle, they snuck him out to the outside flat as the wide receivers drove deep into the middle of the field. And that's an excellent passing strategy for Randolph. I can see why Nardolillo has the kind of stats he has in the passing game.
So it is 6-0 8:59 to play in the first half. 12 plays, 80 yards, 10 plays on the ground, 2 passes. And Figuarelli capping the scoring with the 2-yard run for the score.
Nothing spectacular, Matt. They just grounded out with that misdirection, that counter, that trapping offense. Randolph has done this for years. As long as John Bauer has been the coach, they've run that little trapping offense. I coached against them at Roselle, and they're doing it again this afternoon.
Beals with the kick. Fioli gets it. And he slips and falls. Now, Summit likes to either reverse or fake the reverse on every kickoff, and it seems to me as if someone forgot.
No, I think that it looked to me as if number 24 for Summit, Todd Nichols, was supposed to come back and get it. It was set up well. The defense had run over. The coverage had come over to the middle of the field, but he didn't get there in time. Let's see if we see him coming to the top of the screen. Number 24, Nichols.
He's getting there late.
There he is. Got there late. And Fioli had to wait for him and couldn't get that reverse going.
Ball at the 18-yard line. Parker gets the pitch. Second time he touched the ball, and you can see why Howie Anderson is high on this junior. Second time he's touched the ball. Second time he's gained more than 10 yards. Second time he's picked up a first down.
He comes in the game, runs it, and walks off. Here he goes on the sweep. Good acceleration. Got that outside speed. Gets up in there, gets the first down. Gets up and walks off the field. Says, okay, coach, let me know when you want it again.
13-yard pickup for Parker. Ball at the 22. 10. Here's Fioli, and Sutherland fights off the Guida block and nails Fioli behind the line of scrimmage for a loss.
Great job by Sutherland from that defensive end position. The 5'11", 190-pound junior has good speed and good range. Watch how he just skates out here, hand fights the blocker, keeps his feet, plays his position. When he gets the opportunity, he just comes across and makes the stop.
Down and 12. Hazel loses the ball. I think Chris Spinner fell on it, the center, and he did. That ball came free, and it was there visible for what seemed like an eternity. It was only for about a second or so before Spinner fell on it.
Hazler, that tough inside runner, likes to spin and chop and keep his feet moving. You'll see on the replay here. Bang, contact right on the football. Comes loose. It's just laying there. Where is it? Everyone turns around. Chris Spinner, the junior center, jumps on the ball very alertly, saving possession for Summit. Passing down.
3rd and 9. Williams going to the air. Has pressure. Or is he out of bounds? He is out of bounds. Ken Schultz, the junior, picked the ball up of the air, but was out of bounds when he came back in, or when he came back down. And so it's a punting situation on the incompleted pass.
Randolph plays this very, very well. They don't go for these fakes or any of the other action. They look downfield. They have their defenders in the proper position. Good job. Interception. Unfortunately for Randolph, it was out of bounds. They would have had possession there. It's going to give Summit the opportunity to kick the ball deeper into Randolph territory.
So read it on for his third punt. Ball at the 31-yard line. Bureau and Figuarelli are back deep. Big rush. He slips and falls. And Formicella picked the ball out of the air, but at the 48-yard line. So the soft turf ends the pressure.
Here it is.
The bad punt.
Watch how his foot just slides out from under him. And the ball, he's lucky to have made contact with the ball because it just kind of rolled forward.
So a big break for Randolph. They lead 6-0. They have the ball in excellent field position. 6:27 to play in the first half. This is Sandler as a flag is thrown behind the play. And we're going to have a clip called on Randolph.
Boy, that's another bad call. Let's see if we see this. We're looking at number 32 right there in the screen. Now let's see if he gets him in the back. No way. No way that's a clip. That's a legal block. His head was in front of him, and Randolph is being penalized on a bad call by the officials, in my opinion.
Brings the ball back to the 35-yard line.
Excellent coverage by our camera, picking up that critical situation. That's a 15-yard penalty that Randolph gave up, put him in a big hole. It didn't look from this angle like a clip.
First and long, and Sandler is tripped up by Smith. Craig Smith, the junior defensive end, making the tackle. Pickup of about 2. It's 2nd and 25.
Craig Smith is the only junior in that front four that Summit uses, and I think he's kind of the unsung defender in that defense. He plays a good, tough ball game. That time he was knocked to the ground and just reached out and took a shot at the ball carrier and brought him down for no gain.
2 receivers to the far side. They have the man as Figarelli catches the ball. Broadnax making the tackle well short of the first down.
And 54, Broadnax.
Ball up to the 47-yard line.
To the 47-yard line.
3rd and about 16. 9-yard pickup on the pass. And another passing situation for Randolph. 4:55 to play in the first half. Figarelli and Banks go to the far side. Beerles and Wagner to the near side. Martillo cuts it up, has a lot of room to run, and he has a first down and more. He might go all the way. Fioli meets him as the ball comes free, and I think Summit has recovered. Indeed, they have.
What a break. A great job by Nardolillo. I didn't think he had that kind of running ability. He just legged it up the sideline, and right on the contact, he loses possession. A great break for Summit. Just when Randolph needed a big gainer to get back into their offense, they break loose Nardolillo. Look at him going up the side, and now watch this contact here. Bang, helmet to the football. It just sits there. And a great job recovering, and that's one of the things that you really got to look for. I think it was Scott Sablack. Great job of pursuing and getting there and recovering the ball. Summit comes up with a big, big break.
Ball at the 20, and let's see what they do. Fioli will throw the ball, has a man wide open. Nichols drops the ball.
Take those gloves off. Unbelievable. Nichols, they had the perfect setup, the perfect spot to run that play right after the turnover. They come with the pitch. They haven't shown it all ball game, and now you can see him taking the gloves off. It's too late. He could have really put Summit back in the ball game. Great job by Fioli, just raring, cranking up and throwing the bomb, and right in his hands. What a shame. As he turned his shoulders, the ball came loose. And it's the last time we'll see him.
Nardolillo, the safety, was beat. But the ball was dropped. Paisler going left side and gets a couple. Andy Sandler makes the tackle for Randolph. 4 minutes left to play in the first half. They credit Paisler with a 1-yard gain. So ball up to the 21. It's 3rd and 9.
Remember, in these passing situations, Summit likes to run that little inside screen to Paisler. The last time they ran it, Randolph was up to the task and had sniffed it out. Let's see what we get.
Paisler short of the first down, and so Frieden will come on once again.
Paisler, the ball carrier, dropped by Kenny Bill. Luke Logan.
Remember the last time Fried tried to punt the ball, he had slipped, and it was a very short punt.
Well, you know, Matt, these things happen when the athletes try to get a little more yardage. I think if Frieden just concentrates on kicking the ball, he's got the ability to put the ball back pretty deep. But if he tries to really boom it, that's when his body weight goes forward, and he'll slip off that anchor foot. Let's see what he does. How he does it.
Big rush, high kick that does not travel a good distance at all. A short punt, and they say it goes out of bounds where the nose of the ball will rest on the 40. So good field position for Randolph once again. And you can't give a quality team good field position continually and expect to be successful.
Well, Randolph has just taken control of this ball game in the second quarter. The first quarter was played in their territory. Summit really kept them pinned down and was playing very, very good football. And in the second quarter, once we changed direction, last time we had this, we saw a scramble for about 40 yards.
He'll go on the quarterback draw. Nardolillo breaking tackle, still on his feet, and finally falls forward inside the 30-yard line.
Well, it sounds like Randolph's listening to our telecast here, or we're listening to theirs, but here it is, nothing but a draw all the way. Never intended to throw the ball. Nardolillo showed us that he can leg it when he gets the opportunity, and here he goes, turning it up the field, and nothing but a good job of pursuit by Summit stops this. He could have gone a lot further.
Ball at the 26-yard line. 14-yard pickup for Nardolillo. First and 10 with 2:22 to play. They go on the reverse to Figuarelli, and Figuarelli loses the ball. And the officials diving into the pile to see who's got it. And it'll stay with Randolph. Summit is upset with the call. Rob Hazler is complaining, and Todd Nichols is upset.
Jerry Belmonte.
He may call for the chains. It's close to a first down, and that's what we'll get, a measurement for the first down. 2:13 to play in the first half.
Very, very critical, Matt. Summit has got to prevent Randolph from getting in. Randolph has got to get some points on the board. Even if it's 3, it'll be very, very important because, you know, it's only 6-0. We're not talking 7-0 or 8-0. We're talking 6, and 9 would be a great deal better. 9 would take it away from that possibility of a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. So Randolph has got to put points on the board, and Summit, if they don't stop this drive and keep that board clean, they may have lost the ball game right here on this drive late in the first half. 2:13 on the clock.
Second and short from the 16. They'll go to the air. Lofting one for Wagner. Kicked off by Nichols. So he redeems himself somewhat. He kicks it off in the end zone. And on the touchback, the ball will be brought to the 20. So Summit dodges a bullet. Once again, the turnover aiding the Hilltopper cause. Second interception of the afternoon.
Let's take a look. Nardolillo loses footing a little bit and lofts it up there. Look at Nichols go up there without his gloves on and brings the ball out to the 20. And Nichols was incensed when the officials decided that it was not a recovery of Summit on the fumble. He was really mad, and maybe that's what inspired him to go up there and snatch that ball from the air. Summit now, will they keep it on the ground or will they throw the bomb?
They'll keep it on the ground as the ball comes free, and it may have bounced right back into the arms of Hazler. Hazler comes up with it, comes up excited a little bit, ripping himself away from one of the ramps.
Boy, that ball loose can really give you a heart attack when you're on the sidelines as a coach. Critical situation. You don't want the Rams to get the ball back, and Randolph causes that fumble, and well, you have to wait that split second. Your heart stops to see if you've recovered it or not.
Second and 10.
Come on, Randolph!
Fioli is met by Ken Schultz behind the line of scrimmage. loss on the play, and now we get a timeout called by Randolph. So Randolph calling time, and we'll take time. Stay with us. 1:29 left in the first half. For Randolph are directing that six-man front even to motion.
Yeah, that's right, Matt. I've been watching it, and I couldn't really pick up the pattern. But what's happening is the linebackers are actually moving some of the down tackles to the outside when they see motion. Let's see if we pick it up now.
3rd and long. Parker getting the pitch. 3rd time he's touched the ball, and 3rd time he's got good yardage. Well, at what point do you say, I know we've come this far with Fioli, Paisler, and Guida in the backfield, but every time Parker touches the ball, he's gotten more than 10 yards. At what point do you say, listen, we got to win this game?
Well, I think you're right, Matt. This is the point. He's got to get the ball and allow him to do his thing. I mean, Guida has played a great deal, and he's a good back, and he's a great defensive back, so he's going to be able to see some action. But how can you keep this kid under wraps much longer? He's got the speed, and what's happening is Randolph is keying on Fioli's motion. They figure if Fioli comes this way, they're either going to run Fioli that way or come with Paisler up inside, so they don't worry about the outside. They're actually moving.
Summit versus Linden. It was in the second half when Summit gave the fake motion, the false motion that keyed the Linden defense that Howie Anderson felt enabled Summit to move the ball.
False keys. And I think that's exactly what Howie Anderson has recognized that Randolph is doing. They're keying on Fioli's motion and keeping somebody home in the middle. So they cover Fioli and Paisler, and they've got the offense defended. But with with Coach Anderson seeing that Parker has the ability to run the other way, it might be a whole new ball game for Summit.
From the 39, Guida comes in motion. And it's Fioli on the pitch, but he's dragged down from behind by Rich Tobin, 6'1" senior guard. Tobin get a timeout called by Summit.
Tobin, one of the fellows that moves in the down lineman position. Let's see if we can see it. Well, we don't get a good look, but they're actually moving on direction from the linebackers. The linebackers actually put their hands on the down lineman and allow them to move to the outside, and that gives them the ability to get a lot wider to stop that Fioli sweep.